Hi, my name is Macy Sorrell, and welcome to the first episode of Good in Bed. So, I originally bought all of this audio equipment for recording in terms of music, but as a writer, as an actor, as someone that loves to express myself with my voice, I love using my voice as a means to connect with other people. I love telling stories of humanity. A podcast just seemed like an obvious next step for me, especially because I already have all of the equipment at my house. I'm literally recording this on my MacBook on photo booth, and my recording equipment literally sits on my bedside table every day. So it's like, why would I not? I used to post videos on YouTube talking about how to expand your consciousness, questioning the belief constructs you subscribe to, rewiring your nervous system, changing your behavioral patterns, your subconscious patterns, stuff like that, which I still stand by, even though I have taken the videos down. The only reason why I took them down is because even posting those didn't fulfill me to the level that I wanted to be fulfilled in terms of the way that I express myself. However, I needed to post those videos to realize that it wasn't enough, and I needed to still push myself to do some sort of new endeavor, which is basically this for me now. I'm just trying something new, and it's just fun. So yeah, I thought, when else would be a better time to do the first episode of my podcast other than this past week when I went on one of the most iconic girls trips of all time with one of my closest girl cousins, Lily. Love you, Lil. So we were attending a wedding at the Madonna Inn this past weekend. And I want to tell the story, how it unfolded organically, so that whoever watches this can understand how awestruck we were experiencing this in real time. So bear with me. I want to go through it from beginning to end so that it creates kind of the dramatic effect that we felt of, like I said, experiencing these things in real time, because the way that things unfolded, the only explanation is divine orchestration, is literally the universe and God conspiring in our favor to show us that we are exactly where we're meant to be in this life right now. It was so serendipitous. It was just so soulful and cosmic in every single way, beautifully chaotic, and I just can't wait to share this story because it still leaves me speechless. So it starts with my cousin Lily traveling down from Portland this past Thursday. She traveled before that, but we had to leave on Thursday morning to drive up to this wedding from Southern California. So she sleeps over the night before. The next morning, we wake up, we get our coffee, we get on the road, and me and Lily are the perfect balance of a type A and type B girl friendship. I feel like I have a really good balance of type A and type B personality, but between us, I assume the type B friend identity, right? Lily is super organized, on schedule, she runs the show and doesn't fuck around. For me, it's I can ride the wave a little more, and we balance each other out perfectly, right? So speaking of type B, we were supposed to pick up my dress that I'm supposed to wear to the wedding on the way up to the wedding, on our drive up. Of course, we stop at this girl's house. Oh. We stop at this girl's house so that I can buy the dress from her on our way up, and she ghosts me. She ghosts me, and we're waiting outside this girl's house for 30 minutes. And then I'm just fuck this. Let's go. We're going to just have to stop other places on the way up, but I'm not going to continue to wait here and delay our arrival to our destination because this girl is ghosting me all of a sudden, even though we've talked several times about me picking up the dress at this time today, whatever. So we hop back on the road, and I used to live in a town called Ojai, which is a pretty small town at the base of like the Los Padres National Forest. And I know of a street in Ventura where it's basically like an entire promenade of like different thrift stores, different vintage stores. And I figure we'll just stop there. We can hit a bunch of different places, and I don't know, we're just going to have to take it as it goes. Like, we're either going to find something or we're not. And I'm just going to have to, be spontaneous and take it as it comes. So we drive up to Ventura, we park, we get out, we start at one end of the promenade. Our first mistake was starting at a Buffalo Exchange. It was horrible. We go in, it's just everything's so fucking ugly. Everything's so ugly, and we leave immediately. We proceed to go down the street, stop into every store, every vintage store. Everything's complete ass. And I'm like actually starting to get worried at this point. So I'm pulling up my phone and like frantically looking for other places where we can go, like in that city, in other cities on our way up, right? Because we're still hours away from the wedding venue. So like I'm just trying to facilitate like on the fly. And I look down the street, and it says that there's a vintage store down the street that's called Two Ladies on a Mission. Are you kidding me? Two Ladies on a Mission? We're two ladies on a mission. I'm like, we're going there. Like, that seems meant to be, we're going there. What's the chance that there's a store here called Two Ladies on a Mission? We have to go. So we walk there just to find out that the store actually doesn't exist anymore. Or it just wasn't there that day. I don't know. The building that it was supposed to be in is a completely different establishment. There was no sign, there was no nothing. And so now I'm like, fuck. Okay. Well, I don't know. Like, we're just going to have to find somewhere else. We turn around, and mind you, I used to live like in a nearby smaller town to this place. So I was pretty familiar with the stores that were already there. But when we turned around, across the street, there was a brand new, or what looked like a brand new, like vintage store. It was a really big, I don't want to say facility, but it's like a big building. It was like warehouse. It wasn't even warehouse style. I don't know what I'm saying. It was just like high ceilings, like open layout, huge windows. You could see straight in, and there was really good energy. So we're like, whatever. We're going to go in. We're just going to follow the wind and go. So we go in, and already it's a great vibe because they're playing like really niche, decades old music that my family would listen to, that like Lily's family would listen to, or our family. We're oh my God, we're literally related. So it's already off to a good start, and we're looking through every single rack. Mind you, it is a curated store, so it's like all the pieces in there were gorgeous, but also I was trying not to get carried away because like I'm not just shopping, I'm literally shopping to attend a wedding that has a very specific theme at a very specific venue. If you don't know what the Madonna Inn is, it's like a really historic like hotel. All the different rooms are like themed and decorated really crazy, and like the dining room and like the restaurant, the bar, the cafe, everything, it's like pink everywhere, pink carpet, carved wood. It's a trip. So I definitely recommend for you to look it up. It's gorgeous. I'll also try and put like maybe a picture on the screen right here. I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm trying to learn, so I'll try and figure that out after this. But yeah, so I'm trying to stay like, I have a specific vision, or I know that I'll have a specific feeling when I come across what I'm supposed to wear. At this point, I don't think that I had any expectations, just because like my expectation had been completely shattered by the fact that my previous dress that I was already planning on had completely fallen through. So at this point, I was just like, I don't know. I hadn't even thought far enough into the future to, I think, form an expectation of what I was going to wear. Regardless, we're looking through every rack, not finding anything that meets the standard that I didn't have yet. So I'm like kind of, my faith is dwindling. We get to the last rack and Lily pulls out, mind you, this is a rack that I had already gone through and like did not see this whatsoever. She goes through the same rack and finds this like teensy tiny little like silk bodysuit. It has fringe, it has sequins, like it's clearly handmade, it's vintage. I think it's from like the 1950s or something. And it's gorgeous. And I'm blown away, first of all, that I had somehow missed it. Second of all, I'm like immediately yes, but also like questionable, because normally I feel like this would never be something that's acceptable to wear to a wedding. But given the bride, the theme, and the venue, it was very camp. It was perfect, and it perfectly matched Lily's outfit. They complemented each other so well. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna try it on. It probably is not even gonna fit me because it's tiny and I have like a big ol' ass, and so I didn't even think it was gonna fit in. It fits perfect. I go in the dressing room and I'm actually shocked, because the way my measurements are is like my waist to hip ratio. I think that typically like my waist is maybe a little smaller than what would like perfectly match my hips and my like legs. And so it's hard for me to find stuff that just like fits perfectly, that doesn't have to be like tailored or anything. So the fact that it fit me like a glove, I was already kind of shocked and blown away. And we find some other accessories, this like ribbon, I think that said like my first horse show on it, like a show ribbon. And same thing, it just matched perfectly. So I decide to get it. We take it to the front, and the shop owner literally freaks out. She's like, oh my God, this piece has been here for months. This piece has literally been here since we opened months ago, and no one has bought it. And I've been waiting for the day to come for someone to buy it. Like, where are you going? Are you buying it just because? And we were like, oh, we're actually going to a wedding at the Madonna Inn. And she was like, oh my God, that's so exciting, right? Because it's like the Madonna Inn's an extremely iconic place. So she's telling me how she's had the piece forever there. She tells me like the vendor's name that supplied, the pieces that I was getting. I got them all from, I didn't know they were all going to be from like the same person that supplied it, but it just ended up being that way, where she was like, yeah, the same person supplied us all these pieces and they've all been here for months since we opened. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. Didn't think anything of it. So we get it, we leave, we head on our way, and we finally arrive a couple of hours later at the hotel. We put everything in the room and we're like, let's go to dinner. So we get cute. I'm like wearing this cute leopard dress. That's not an essential detail, but I just thought I'd mention it. It looked really good and I was wearing a cute leopard dress. So we go have like a gorgeous dinner. And mind you, I have been 6 years sober. My cousin also like doesn't drink, doesn't like smoke, doesn't do anything. I used to like smoke weed occasionally for like anxiety to help me sleep and stuff like that, but I haven't in like a year. And it's been a really long travel day. I work crazy hours at my job. I literally have like a corporate job in marketing. And we're just like, we need to decompress. The stars are gorgeous outside. The moon is huge. It's glowing. Like, let's just like go on a walk. We'll just smoke a tiny bit of weed. We'll decompress. Like, it's just me and her. And like the property, like the hotel is on a mountain. So there's like a huge part of their property is like equestrian land. And it's gorgeous. So it's like we get back from dinner, we put on our pajamas basically, and we're just like walking around outside in the crisp air, just having like really peaceful, just beautiful like bonding moments together. It's like we're laughing, we're looking at the stars. We walk down and look at like the illuminated Madonna Inn sign, and it's very it's very cinematic. And so it's just been like everything's gone perfectly somehow. Even the things that went wrong, like my dress falling through, it ended up working out even better, right? Because I ended up with like this super unique outfit that's like extremely camp. It's authentic to my personal style, which is really what I wanted. Like I didn't think that I was going to be able to find something that looked so like artful and it had this level of like mystique to it, and it was just so unique, which I loved. It was a big surprise, and it just is funny how it worked out that I found something way better than what I had originally planned on wearing. And so we go up to the room and my cousin goes, I really want a piece of like the famous Madonna cake. Like they have this chantilly cake, or I don't know if that's really what it's called, but it's like this gorgeous pink cake that has pink chocolate shavings all over the outside. I don't think that she wanted to eat it alone though, which is why we debated for like 5 minutes going back and forth about if we should go down and get it. I'm allergic to eggs, so I can't eat a lot of baked goods, but I really wanted to live vicariously through her, and like I wanted her to have everything that she wanted. So it's like I was trying to convince her, please, like let's just walk back over and get the piece of cake. Like whatever, we're here for a special occasion. Who cares if I can't eat it? Like I want to be excited watching like just you eating the cake that you want to eat. So we're like, okay, fuck it. Like we're in our pajamas, right? I'm literally in a matching pajama set that's like pink and floral. I put on my black cowboy boots and a black like oversized leather jacket. And same thing with her. Like do I need to get a pop filter for this? I don't know, whatever. Same thing. She's in her like cozy, like cute clothes. She also just throws on her cowboy boots and we just like march our way over. But when we get there, since it's like 10:30 p.m. at this point, we realize that everything in there is closed besides the bar. So we're talking to the front desk and we're like, we really just want to get one piece of cake and like go back to our rooms. And they're like, just go to the bar. Like you can order the cake there. So we go in and we sit at the bar stools. Again, the inside of the bar there it's a trip. Like it's gorgeous. But it's like pink everything, pink chairs, pink bar stools, like pink rose carpet, huge like wood carving, everything. There's a live jazz band playing like right next to the bar. And we walk in and it's not packed, but like all the seats are filled in the bar, right? And so we sit down at the bar. And there's a mirror across from the bar, right? So it's like we can see ourselves in the bar. We don't order anything except one piece of cake. And so between the time we got there and when the cake was coming out with the check, we look over at the jazz band and we're just watching, and my cousin goes, mind you, the jazz band is literally like, the men are probably between the ages of like 60 or 50 and 70, no joke. All of them. And so we look over at the jazz band and Lily goes, which one of them are you smashing? And I go, I'm staring at them and I'm like, fuck, that's kind of hard. Which ones would you smash? And we need to put them in order. So we're both looking and we both decide like at the same exact time, we're like, the singer, who is also the saxophone player, number 1, drummer, number 2, everyone else, it's just so bad we can't really decide. They're all tied for number 3. But at this point, like, I don't know why I started feeling really sick. And to be honest, I think it's because I was riding like an adrenaline high from like working so much and going straight to the road trip. I had so much caffeine that day to help like carry me over the finish line. And I was definitely dehydrated. So it's like I started feeling unwell very quickly. But in my mind, I was just like, I just need to go back to the room and like lay down and drink water and go to bed. Like I'm just tired. But then I look in the mirror across from the bar and I'm white as a ghost. Like, I'm white as a ghost, borderline green, honestly. And I look over at Lily and I go, do I look pale? I look really pale and I don't feel good. And at this point, the cake comes out with the check and Lily's right about to sign the check. And I'm like, okay, like I'm actually really starting to feel horrible. So I stand up out of the bar stool in preparation for us to walk away. And I know the symptoms of fainting, right? Because I've fainted before. I've passed out before. And before you pass out, you get like, I had a horrible stomach ache. Like I was queasy. I was lightheaded. And then slowly, this is like what pushed it over the edge. At this point, there's no going back. Like, I guess I was just bound to faint in that moment because my vision started going and it started like trickling into blackness. And I'm like, oh my God, this can't be happening right now. Like, I'm trying to shock my system by like taking big breaths of oxygen. And I tap her on the shoulder while she's like trying to sign the check. And I said, I feel really dizzy. I think I'm going to pass out. But mind you, live jazz band is playing right next to us. The bar is loud. And she's definitely not expecting me to just like collapse and lose consciousness right there. So it's like she didn't really register what I was saying. But as she's like turning to me to register what I'm saying, I literally pass out, eyes roll back in my head, body goes limp, like collapse to the ground, like, hello? She sticks out her arm to try and break my fall. But she's not like braced for it. So I end up just taking her straight down with me, like out of the chair. And she said that everything happened in slow motion. And we were laughing so hard after, right? I mean, it was not funny in the moment. It was extremely scary and very worrisome. But like now that everything's fine, we look back and laugh so hard because she said that since everything happened in such slow motion, that when I was taking her down with me out of the chair, number one, she was still grasping the pen from trying to sign the check, right? She's like, I'm gonna sign this check. I need this cake. Second, though, she was like, Macy. But it came out like slow motion, right? It was like, Macy. And then we were laughing. Niche reference. We said it was just like the scene in Coraline when it shows like the other father in the garden riding the mechanical praying mantis, and he gets sucked down into like the weeds, and he's like, take it. You know what I'm talking about? Probably not, but that would be a really great reference for you to understand exactly how she said it. Anyway, yeah. So at this point, I'm fully unconscious on the ground. She lands on top of me. Braces my fall enough though to like where I don't hit my head, which is a miracle because then I really would have had to go to the hospital. But I basically come back to my senses, and as like I'm starting to come back to consciousness, but I hadn't opened my eyes yet, my first thought was like, oh, I don't remember falling asleep. Like I don't remember going to bed. And then I opened my eyes and I realized, oh, I don't remember going to bed because I'm still in public. In the same exact spot that I was 30 seconds ago. And I just fainted and caused a huge commotion in front of everybody, scared the shit out of my cousin, and now she thinks I'm dying. So in my mind, I'm like, I need to act as normal as possible. I need to act like nothing just happened, because I'm so uncomfortable right now and confused as to why I literally just passed out and collapsed onto the floor full on. It sounds so dramatic because it was. And so I get up, everyone's freaking out. The bartenders are freaking out. Everyone in there is obviously alarmed, and everyone's just trying to get me to sit down. But my cousin said that I acted so normal when I woke back up that she had questioned if it even, oh my God, it keeps thinking I'm doing a thumbs up. She had questioned if it even really happened. She said it looked like I was waking up on Christmas morning. which is so funny. But yeah, so obviously it felt a lot shittier than Christmas morning. So I wake up, I'm super disoriented. Obviously, right, it's like the music's playing, I wake up, everything's pink, I'm just like, what just happened? And they get me in a chair, I'm like drinking a bunch of water, blah blah blah. Reflecting back on this now, I'm like, that was a very Broad City of us. If you've seen Broad City, you understand what I mean. It reminds me of when they were trying to go to like the Lil Wayne concert, and I don't know if they like smoked weed or something, or they did something and they ended up in the back alley of the Lil Wayne concert because they couldn't get in, and then they were like climbing through the air vents trying to see if they could like sneak into the concert that way. I don't know. Very funny. Goated show. If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. It's one of the funniest shows of all time. So we get back to the room finally, and I ruined the vibe. Obviously, it's like I literally just collapsed and was unconscious on the floor unexpectedly. And mind you, it's like my cousin never smokes weed, and so she's just greening out at this point, even though we probably smoked like a quarter of a joint, which is like also embarrassing because it's like, damn, it's just so little. It's so like we're just not built like we used to be, I guess. I don't know. So we get back to the room and we're freaking out. Like, do we need to call for help? Like, we need to call people for help. And I'm like, okay, let's call Joey, Nico, my siblings. I don't have my phone. I can't call anyone. My phone fell out of my pocket, definitely when I collapsed on the floor. And so now I'm having to deal post fainting spell with having to find my lost phone. So I called the front desk. The girl was so nice. She searched all over the place, but it's like, do you know how embarrassing that is to have to just be like, well, fuck it, and call the front desk and be like, hey, sorry, I'm the girl that just, fainted in the bar. Mind you, I also don't drink. So I'm also like, it's embarrassing that they probably think that I'm just like the drunk bitch in the bar that just like fainted, even though it's the Madonna and like they've seen a lot worse. They probably don't even really give a shit. But anyway, they find my phone. The girl sends it up to the room and delivers it with like such a cute little like post-it note posted on my phone. And she's like, I'm so glad I could get this back for you. Like, I hope you have a safe trip and a safe travel back, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, that was just a cute little like cherry on top to the absolute chaos that we had been going throughout this entire process. I take a freezing cold shower. Everything ends up fine. And I feel so much better. I just lay down, drink water, and I'm like, okay, I'm like back to equilibrium now. However, my cousin is like increasingly getting higher from her 4 hits of weed by the second. So she's like, okay, let me take a shower. Except she takes a steaming hot shower and comes out like it's way worse than before. And she's absolutely convinced that like I'm gonna die in my sleep. And so she's like, I'm gonna set alarms like every hour. Oh my God. Another thing that I specifically remember when I came back to my senses after passing out is she was like this, like checking my pulse. Sorry, it's just like, I just remember it so vividly seeing that when I came back to reality. And so, yeah, she basically said she was going to set alarms all throughout the night to check my pulse and make sure I'm alive, which didn't need to happen. But, I understand. It's like, for her sanity, I said, go ahead. We end up falling asleep. The next morning we wake up and we're like, wow, we feel like shit. So we jam out to Whole Foods, right? By this time, it's like we needed to sleep in, but me passing out the night before has completely fucked up our pre-wedding timeline. So we have like 2 hours before we have to be at the wedding ceremony, and we're like, we have nothing. So we go to Whole Foods, we get like food from the hot bar, we get lattes, we get kombucha, we get like water, and we're doing everything we can to rejuvenate in like the fastest amount of time possible. my cousin's already freaking out, right? Because for months leading up to this trip, again, type A, like she's probably had the exact timeline of how she's gonna get ready, planned to a T, for months, right? And that whole plan is gone. So she is stressing, and I'm like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. I hop in the shower, I get out so she can take a shower. She gets out of the shower, she starts getting ready, and at this point, like by the time that we had gotten back and started getting ready, we probably only had like 45 minutes, which is honestly her nightmare. For me, I feel like I'm kind of used to having a quick turnaround, especially because like my personality kind of like allows for it, but also like I grew up as a competitive dancer for 18 years. Fast, like quick changes as a dancer. I was in theater. I've, been modeling and acting my whole life. Like, I'm like, I got this. Like, I'm not worried about a damn thing. And so she comes out maybe around 30 minutes to when we're supposed to be like walking out the door to leave. And I'm still ass naked on the bed. I'm not even gonna lie. I was ass naked on the bed still. And I thought I was gonna give her a heart attack. She was right though. I did need to start getting ready. So she's like, do I put glitter on my face? She goes in the bathroom to do her glitter eyeshadow. By the time she comes out again to like show me and see if it looks good, I have fully gotten ready. I have my whole outfit on. I have like a gorgeous updo, bows in my hair, accessories on. I didn't wear makeup. I don't usually ever really wear makeup unless I'm like at a shoot or something, but I did have like lip stain and lip gloss on, and I was ready. And she just came out and she was like, how is that physically possible? It's like you just did a Cinderella spin and you're somehow magically completely ready when that would have taken me hours. I don't get it. She still has to do her hair. She has to put on her press-on nails. At this point, she's literally shaking with anxiety. Like, this is like her worst case scenario. She's rushing, and I'm like, all right, I have to take control of the situation. Like, I'm the captain now. I pull a chair out. I'm like, you need to sit down right now. I literally give her like a gorgeous updo, put her bows in her hair within 45 seconds. And the hair lasted the whole entire night, through dancing, through the wedding ceremony, through the reception, through everything. Looked impeccable. I put on all of her her nails. She looks so good, and it's just like, and I could just tell it was instant relief came over her. She was just like, oh my God, like it was just pure magic to her. She was like, how? I don't get it. Like, this would have taken me hours. So we're both ready. We leave. We go to the wedding ceremony. Mind you, we're wearing like very, again, on theme, camp, like authentic, personal style, like outfits. And I would not say that this is like the standard wedding attire whatsoever. However, it was perfect for the time and place. And as we're like approaching the wedding ceremony, we start getting a little worried because we're realizing that everyone else there is just dressed in like regular wedding attire, which is great. Everyone looked gorgeous. Everyone looked amazing, but it's like no one was on theme. People were wearing like long dresses. We saw people wearing like long dresses with like tights under and like shawls, and it's like we show up like shabam wham, like I don't even know. And so we started getting worried. We're like, damn, did we fuck up? Did we fuck up wearing this because we're sticking out like a sore thumb? And then we're like, you know what? Fuck it. No, we're already in this situation. We're playing the role. Like, we were the weird bitches that were fucking not even drinking and passed out at the bar last night. We, got ready last minute. Like, we're riding the wave. Like, fuck it. We're here now. Like, we look good. Like, who gives a shit? And then we walk into like the garden area of where the wedding ceremony is. And we already, I guess, like felt confident, but it was an instant sigh of relief because then everyone was coming up to us being like, holy shit, you guys look so unique, your outfits, like, oh my God. And so I was like, okay, so we're not going to be like a nuisance or a distraction, or like we're not going to need to go to the corner of shame for wearing this to a wedding. Like, great. And so this is where like the trip's already been insane, between my dress falling through, passing out in the bar, having to get ready last minute, but it was all still enjoyable in a way. And so this is where shit gets like really, really, really serendipitous. An older man comes up to us with what I assume would be his wife. And he goes, "Were you guys at a vintage store in Ventura yesterday?" Mind you, this store is hours away from the wedding venue. Like, it's not like, oh, in the town over. It's not like in the surrounding areas. No, it's like a very significant distance away and a completely different place to where this wedding venue was. And we were like, yeah, we were. Why are you asking? And he goes, I'm asking because I was at the same store yesterday, and I was talking to the woman that runs the store, and she asked what we were doing there, and we told her, oh, we're going to a wedding at the Madonna Inn. And she freaked out, and she said, oh my God, there were these girls in here a couple of hours ago, like buying stuff to wear to a wedding at the Madonna Inn. And so he said in that moment that he was like, wow, I'm determined to find out who you're talking about. And he said as soon as we walked in, he knew it was us. I mean, it was pretty obvious by like what we were wearing that it's like, I feel like we just had this like glow about us, like this, you know, this presence of like, wow. And so our minds were already blown at that, because it's like, what do you mean you just happened to be yesterday at the same vintage store hours away that we didn't plan on going to that store. We went to that area and went to every other store in the area, and then meant to go to a vintage store called Two Ladies on a Mission just to find out that it doesn't exist anymore. And then just like went into that store by chance because it ended up being across the street from the store that we were supposed to go to in the first place. So what do you mean you guys also just happened to be in that same store yesterday and found out through the grapevine that other girls that were in that store are at the same wedding as you, hours away from that store? How? So our minds are already blown, right? And so we're like, wow, crazy. We get through the wedding ceremony. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's perfect. And then we go to the reception, and we're in line at the reception, like in line at the bar to get drinks, right? I'm like, I'm parched. I need water, or I'm going to have a round 2 of last night and ruin this wedding reception. So we're in the line, and these 2 girls come up, completely unrelated, right? Like, it's not a small wedding. Like, there's like a good amount of people there. And I feel like most people don't know each other. Like, me and my cousin didn't know anyone there except the bride, who's like my cousin's friend. And so we're in line waiting for drinks, and these 2 girls who seemed like they're probably around our age, come up to us. They're standing behind us, and we turn around and we spark up conversation. They're just like, holy shit, your outfits are insane. Where'd you get it? Like, asking us all these questions. My cousin is describing to them like everywhere that she, you know, got her outfit basically. And, so then it's my turn, and we're describing to them like the whole situation about how my dress fell through and how my outfit came to fruition. And we even told them, yeah, it was so crazy. Like, there's this random guy here that said that he was at the same store as us yesterday, the same vintage store that we just happened to stumble into after going to like 20 other stores in a city that's like hours away from here. Like, how insane is that? And they're like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. And they go, anyway, so where's your outfit from? And I was like, oh, well, it's from this vintage store, but they, or the lady that runs the shop told me that the vendor's name is like so-and-so. And I like said the name, and the girl looks at me and she goes, what'd you say? I said, oh, the vendor said, or the lady at the shop said that the vendor that supplied like these pieces to her like months ago is named so-and-so. And she goes, I'm friends with so-and-so, and so-and-so's at this wedding. I'm sorry, what the fuck? What the fuck did you just say to me? So you're saying that the girl or the woman that supplied these vintage pieces to this thrift store like 4 months ago, right? This store that we just happened to stumble into after trying to go to like 20 other stores. The pieces haven't sold in months. We show up, buy them, come to this wedding, right? Mind you, this store is hours away. And you're telling me that the lady that supplied these pieces to this random vintage store hours away is at this wedding right now. How is that possible? How is that possible? This is what I was saying before, where it was like, it's not. I mean, it's possible because it happened, but it's like, that is literally like uncanny divine orchestration. There's no other explanation as to how that could happen. There's just not. That's like ones in millions and millions and millions of a chance that that could fucking happen and align like that. Are you kidding me? So at this point, we're freaking out. We're freaking out. We're just like, how is this possible? This is like literally like a spiritual experience. What is going on? And I feel like a really big part of this as well that I didn't mention earlier is that the significance of the music that was playing in the vintage store that we had bought the pieces from. I think I mentioned that it was like niche music that like my family would listen to that's like decades old music. My cousin, Elijah, it's his birthday today. He passed away almost 2 years ago. And this was Lily's younger brother. Elijah was like one of my soulmates. Like we're the same age. We're born in the same hospital, like literally 3 weeks apart. And we specifically said at the beginning of the road trip, like, oh yeah. And sorry, it just blows my mind. If you invite Elijah on a road trip, like he will make sure that everything works out and that it's so magical, right? So we go on this road trip and we invite Elijah along, like his spirit, his essence, like we just know that like he's going to pull the strings for us to make sure that everything works out, which it has. And the things that didn't work out, it was literally aligning us with things that were so much better. And it's like everything worked out perfectly. Like the chaos was working in our favor. And the music that was playing in that vintage store was like all of like Elijah's favorite really niche music that's like decades old music. Like it's not like music you'd hear on the radio. Like it was so insane. And mind you, this trip is literally happening like his birthday weekend as well. So it's like the whole trip was like an ode to Elijah basically. And so yeah, that's just like a really significant part of the story as well, right? Because like I'm filming this now when it's his birthday today and it's just so special. So yeah, we're freaking out that, you know, this random man just somehow saw us or heard through the grapevine from this like lady that ran this vintage store hours away that we just happened to stumble upon because every other store was ass that we went to on the way there. And then you're saying that the woman that supplied this outfit to that shop owner in a city that's hours away from here is also somehow at this wedding and like none of us know each other. It's just insane. Like it actually sounds made up and it sounds like, oh no, like there's for sure like that store is connected somehow to the wedding or the people there. No, it's not. It's just genuinely fucking mind-blowing. And so it's just like experiences like that make life so worth it and so magical. And I feel like that was just like God's way of showing us like you guys are exactly where you are meant to be in life right now in this moment. Like everything is perfect even when things don't seem perfect. It's because like, you know, rejection is redirection. And that's exactly what I was saying earlier, where it's like chaos was working in our favor. Everything that didn't work out, it's because it was aligning us with something so much bigger. I really need to stop holding this in a thumbs up formation because it keeps making a thumbs up go up on the screen. Anyway, so yeah, honestly, like this whole situation was so insane. I did end up meeting the lady that supplied my outfit to that vintage store like 4 months before. Because again, another fucking crazy, like, synchronicity, I guess you could call it, is that, again, I didn't know anyone at this wedding. I was just a +1 to my cousin because my cousin's friends with the bride, and my cousin also doesn't know anyone else there. So we're sitting at the assigned seating, and there's like 30 tables in this huge room where all the seats are assigned. And the table that I'm assigned at, right, I'm sitting, the lady that supplied my outfits, her seat was the seat assigned at the table next to us, that it's like we were sitting back to back. I'm gonna scream. Like, oh my God. It's just so fucking insane. And again, it's just like, there's no way to describe how we felt in those moments, experiencing these things in real time. There's just no way to, like, everyone, I just hope that everyone that watches this, or just everyone in general in life, can experience that level of serendipity in their life. It was just so important. It was so important. Like, I needed that trip so bad. My cousin needed that trip so bad. We needed it together. And it was just so special. And it's like, I ended up meeting the lady. We connected. We had such a gorgeous time at the wedding. The next day was amazing. We went and had just like the best sandwiches ever, and explored, and like had good coffee, and walked around, and like looked at the town. And then I dropped her off at the airport and drove like 5 hours back home. And it was just absolutely perfect from start to finish. Every twist and turn, I wouldn't have it any other way. Even though in the moment, like, it may have been so stressful, it's like you just have to ride the wave. I don't know. It's like, it was just perfect in every single way. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm also really excited to start like posting more videos like this. Again, it's like, I have no expectation of anything like regarding this, but I'm just like following my intuition. I'm excited to see all the ways that this is going to allow me to like connect with other people. And I really want to find a way to talk about everything that I used to make my YouTube videos about, which again is like really just finding different ways to like expand your consciousness. Like, I feel like a big part of my life has been duality, polarity, like just pure embodiment, wholeness, like authenticity is like one of the main themes of my entire life, is like learning how to be just authentically me, enjoying the journey of becoming, and like refining and conjuring like my own unique God-given essence through the experiences that I've had in this life. And I've accumulated so much knowledge, and it's like I will continue to learn throughout my entire life. But I feel like I'm at the point where it's like being a student and a leader is two sides of the same coin. And I'm just excited to like have these conversations about, like I said, expanding your consciousness, but also it's like so beyond that. It's just like shattering every illusion that you've ever thought you've been confined to before, realizing that it's like anything you could ever want to be is literally existing here and now, and allowing yourself to like transform into new things, you know, questioning the belief constructs you subscribe to, your subconscious like behavioral and like psychological patterns, and you know, paying attention to the way that you interact with yourself and the world around you, and like just wanting a better life for yourself, wanting to evolve. Like, I'm just so passionate about that. And I'm really excited to see like how I'm able to like express those passions through this or through anything. Like, I'm on a really big journey right now of like getting back in touch with being outwardly expressive, and not like, I don't even want to call it like gatekeeping myself, because it's like I wasn't not sharing things on purpose before, but I feel like I'm coming out of a really long period of evolution in my life where it's like I was evolving behind closed doors. And like, I love the butterfly metaphor of like the caterpillar goes into the cocoon and goes through like a really painful, you know, transmutation process of basically like evolving into this, you know, different being, this different creature. And it's like a different being, but made up of all the same parts. And I feel like that's just such a good reference that's adjacent to like the concept of alchemization or transmutation of energy, where it's like you are using everything that's here and now to conjure a new essence for yourself. And yeah, I just am so passionate about that. And I'm really excited to start like sharing more parts of myself and sharing my creations and my passions, and like just using it as a facet to connect with more people and to pursue more, and, you know, be more in love and more passionate and more faithful. And like, I just love that so much. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I really hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did, then whatever, I'll just save it for the next time. And it is what it is. And yeah, I hope you guys have a gorgeous, beautiful, amazing night. And yeah, thank you. Okay, bye.